This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. Okay, so today I wanted to talk you through the tune Someday My Prince Will Come from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's a beautiful little tune. There's a couple of complicated twists, but as far as jazz stuff goes, it's simple-ish, so I thought it might be a good one. Okay, so in the original film, it happens in G major, and we're going to be in sort of G major for most of it. So what we get is this kind of thing. So I'm going to show you how to play that sort of stuff. Now, if you're wondering how to get started on this jazz stuff, I say this often, but for me, the real key to any of this stuff is to really know the tune if you were to try and sing it. So you listen to the tune lots of times, maybe find a few different versions that you like before you start trying to place it on the guitar. And then for me, I'm different to Martin Taylor, who starts with the chords. He's got a TrueFire course, which he talks about how he puts together his kind of thinking on this sort of stuff. I think it's really interesting. You might too. There's a discount code if you want to check that out. Essentially, some of his thinking seems to be a little bit similar to mine in that you end up with these kind of simpler chord melody ideas rather than sort of massive chord shapes or anything. And I've heard other people talk about this as well, but I think there's something to be said for trying to put together things that are a little bit simpler, so that if you were to play them with someone else, they could work, and so that you're actually in control of a few different things, or more in control than if you just play massive chord shapes and don't tie them to any sort of time. So I start with the melody and try and play it on the B and E, B and E string. Because that leaves plenty of space underneath. So then the next sort of thing I do, if you want, I find it really useful to try this without a lead sheet and good kind of ear training and stuff. Try and figure out what kind of the chords are. So I'd be listening first of all to what the bass does, and then I'd listen to what is the kind of character of the chord. Is it major or is it minor? Or if it's not that, is it diminished or something like that? And that's how I think is a really good way to start trying to get into this stuff. Then you can check with the lead sheet if you want. So I think we start with a G major chord. So I would play something like this. So we got a major 7 there, or suspended kind of second there. So that would be the 7th fret, 4th fret, and our melody note there on the 3rd. And then we're going to go up to our B7, which is the dominant of our relative minor. So that sort of implies that we're moving into the E minor. And then we get our raised 7th there. So something like that. Then 7th fret, 8th fret, 8th fret, down to a 4th fret, down to 5th, 7. So that's like a C sharp 11 type thing. We're only going to hang around here for quite a short time. So 5, 5, 7, and then we fall down to an E augmented. So 7, 6, 5. So it's like an E sharp 5, right? And that to me implies that we're approaching our chord A minor from the dominant again. So for this part here, in my brain, we're switching to A minor. Okay, so in G, to the E minor, to C, to kind of our chord 5 of A minor. Okay, and then I play this kind of 5, 5, 5, then do the kind of Stairway to Heaven thing. So our E there, 6th fret, 5th fret, 5th fret, 8th fret, down to the 4th, and then A minor 7 again, 5, 5, 5, so. Okay, then to a D7, so there we get 4, 5, 5. Then we need our G in first inversion, which I really like this for, so 7, 7, 8, 10, and maybe you could even add the 9 in there on the D string on the 7th fret. And for this, I'm going to be playing an E diminished chord. Quite difficult, so we get 12th fret, 11th fret on the D string, 12th fret on the G, 11th fret on the B, but I would bar there, and 14th fret on the E string, and then to an A minor, 12, 12, 13, 10, and then the same thing again. Okay, and then we're back to the beginning, aren't we? Okay, repeat all that. Then we want a D minor. So this is a 2-5 into C. So I would just bar across the 10th fret for that. and then up to a G7. So I might do that on the 15th fret, 16, 15, and then our melody note in the top is the 9 on the 17th fret. And then we want to get down to a C, and it's going to be like a C augmented, so 15, 14, 13, and it's like a sort of going between 13 and 14, between like the sharp 5 and 6, and then we go back to that E diminish, and then we kind of, I just use like it's called a dominant pedal, where you're just staying on chord 5 to kind of just turn around and then start again. So when it comes to soloing over the diminished chords, these actually, I think, come from the home of harmonic major. I've talked to David Beebe about this sort of thing, which in this case is like the D harmonic major chord is where I think this particular. So it's one that I need to get my head around a bit more, but essentially what you have is a major scale with a flat 6. But when I see this chord, I am tending to approach it either with like a augmented arpeggio, so B flat augmented, or D augmented, or just A dominant. So dominant, A dominant works really nicely as well, and then resolve to A minor. But that's how I would think about the chord. The chord melody, the tune, the chord melody will go up on Patreon. It's quite simple. I think a really cool kind of jazz standard, because people in your family will know it, because this is one of those Disney tunes that almost everyone has kind of heard, so it's a nice one to learn. The diminished harmony is the tricky thing to get your head around, I find, so I like to kind of think about some substitutions that I can think about in my head. Instead of thinking about them as diminished chords, I can think about them as like either straightforward dominant chords and just superimpose those, or augmented arpeggios that can work over that. I'll put together the chord melody if you want that, and the backing track. Thank you for stopping by. Please leave a comment on this video if this was helpful, as I think it helps other people to find this video in the future if they're looking for this sort of thing. I know it would have been useful when I was trying to get into this jazz stuff. Still am, but you know, cheers.